Welcome back to Focus on the Palmetto State. Meals on Wheels in 5 upstate counties have joined forces for a common goal. Meals on Wheels works to feed homebound residents here in Greenville County, and now other like-minded organizations in other counties are working together as part of a new alliance. Liz Seaman is the Executive Director of the Greenville County Meals on Wheels, and Terry Dennis is the Executive Director of the Cherokee County Meals on Wheels. They're here in the studio to tell us more about the alliance and how it will impact local organizations. Now, thank you guys for being here today.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Now, your local organization, will it be impacted by the alliance and what you guys are doing with the alliance?
Well, I think the great thing is, even though our individual organizations have been around for quite some time and we're all, sort of doing our own things in our separate areas, we really realized, the power that can come when we're working together, brainstorming on better ideas and working on better messaging. How do we recruit volunteers? How do we fundraise? Kind of best practice sharing, and all with the goal of ending senior hunger in the upstate.
Right. Now, your upstate, the Meals on Wheels in Cherokee County has been around for how many years?
We're going into our 29th year in Cherokee County, so we're very excited about that. We're serving about 400 meals a day. Last year alone, we delivered 100,000 meals in Cherokee County. So the impact just continues to grow in our community as well as all the communities in the upstate. The impact that the Meals on Wheels as an alliance makes in the entire upstate is over. Liz, what were we talking about?
1.3 million meals we delivered last year
All
collectively
together.
all together.
Wow.
So you can see by joining forces and again sending that same message, I think we certainly have the mantra that we are Meals on Wheels. I mean, it's not certainly Terry's program or my program or the other Anderson and Spartanburg and the other communities that serve are doing their own thing every day. But I think in the back of our minds we all know that we're Meals on Wheels. So if you're homebound and you're hungry, a volunteer from Meals on Wheels is going to come check on you and deliver a hot meal, and you don't really care which program it's from, you just know that someone's caring for you. And so I think while we all have local emphasis and local ability to tailor our programs to local needs, collectively we're a much bigger force when we talk about 1.3 million meals, almost 6,000 volunteers collectively across the upstate that are working every day to make sure that folks are fed and not forgotten.
And we are all connected to our seniors in our communities. There are family members, there are neighbors, there are community members. So we are Meals on Wheels, and with us together working, we can end senior hunger.
Now, in Greenville County, how long have we had a Meals on Wheels?
We are 43 years old, and this year, 2012, we will hit our 10 millionth meal served. So we're very excited about that. And just like Terry said, that has everything to do with the volunteers who are willing to give their time every day. In about an hour, hour and a half of your time, you can share a meal, you can share hope, a connection. I think that's the biggest thing for so many folks. It's really so much more than the meal. The nutrition is important. So many of our folks are taking medication or are suffering from other ailments, so the importance of having a hot, nutritious meal every day. But it's the social interaction from our volunteers, I think, that really makes a big difference.
Well, and a reason to get up in the morning, because your Meals on Wheels volunteer is coming, and knowing that you're going to have a friendly face at the door, and there may be other things that you may need. We're in the homes every day, we're on the front lines, so we may come into a home where someone may need something as important as a wheelchair. They may need their smoke detector changed, or maybe it's broken and they need another one. Maybe they have a pet that is going hungry. They're taking food off their own plate to feed their pet. Well, Meals on Wheels is able to step in, provide them with a wheelchair that was donated by one of the volunteers that was actually delivering meals, as well as getting them the pet food that they need, and helping with making sure that their batteries are working on their smoke detectors, keeping our seniors safe, healthy, and happy, and living in their homes with the dignity that they so deserve.
Right, and sometimes it's a lot more, like you say, than a meal, but sometimes this is the only meal some of these people will eat all day.
That's right, and not only is it the only meal, but sometimes the Meals on Wheels volunteer is the only person they see all day. We talk a lot about just, how fortunate we are to have family, to have friends. I rarely eat lunch by myself. I love, meeting friends for lunch or being in the office and being around people, and so the idea that you're spending every day, all day at home alone is something I think hard to sort of articulate and think about. But the fact that the Meals on Wheels volunteers sort of breaking that silence and breaking that isolation by being there with a meal. And so many of our volunteers tell us too that once you deliver, it just sort of, it just becomes a part of you, and you get to know the folks on your route, and they become like family. And we really are a huge extension of family by being able to be in those homes every day.
Right, I can remember bringing like birthday cakes to different people and things like that. And it seems like every time I talk to you guys, you have a neat, heartwarming story about how the program has impacted somebody on a really personal basis. And you were telling me that.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit a while ago, just, this idea that our clients, they are so thankful and just know the consistency of the volunteers showing up every day. We recently had a woman who was in a wheelchair and had fallen. And when the Meals on Wheels volunteers got there, she wasn't panicked. She ended up being fine. They were able to call EMS, and she was taken care of. And when the volunteers were talking to her, she said, "Well, I wasn't worried. I knew my Meals on Wheels volunteers were coming." And just to know that we brought that comfort in that type of a situation, and to think what would have happened if she didn't have anybody checking on her, and how long would she have gone, and what else could have possibly happened. And I think there are hundreds of those stories that we hear about, and 100 that we don't hear about every day, because our volunteers are there.
Well, and to just know that, when you involve volunteers in the community, and when we actually go to the volunteers and we tell them, you know what, you're saving lives. They truly are with these experiences that happen during the day, and making the promise, us as Meals on Wheels, we can make the promise that you're going to change lives, you're going to save lives, but we can make you a promise that it will change your life even more than the life that you've touched and changed by being a volunteer.
It was amazing to me how easy it was to volunteer. It was just like, come on in and here's some meals and go take them out. And it is actually that easy. You want to go through what it takes to be a volunteer?
And I think we're saying, we are so fortunate to be one of the nonprofits in the upstate that has the opportunity to share our mission with volunteers every day. And so, and again, sort of playing on everyone has locally probably a little bit different how they do orientation, but in general, it's about an hour and a half of your time. You come and learn a little bit about kind of some of the rules we have about keeping the meals hot and things like that. But, it's really just following directions and going to a door and having a smile on your face saying, "We are Meals on Wheels. Here's your lunch today. How are you doing? Is everything okay? Is there anything else I can get you?" And then going to the next house and the next house. And even for somebody like me who's directionally challenged, it is very easy to do, I promise you. And I think the other thing that we love to share with folks is that you can, at any age, you can volunteer with Meals on Wheels. It can be you and a coworker, it can be you and your children, it can be you and your grandchildren. It is a great family-friendly opportunity, and there's not a lot of opportunities for families to share something together, and Meals on Wheels is certainly one of those things.
Well, and I think too, we're one of the nonprofits that can involve our students, our local high schools, our local middle schools, Beta Club students, folks who want to do community service. It also looks great on a college application. We have a lot of young people coming in from the high school wanting to volunteer, wanting to learn about giving back and serving their community. And we offer a great place to do that, and a great opportunity for the entire family. Just as Liz said, you're never too young or too old to be a volunteer. We actually have some volunteers that are older than the clients that we serve that go out and deliver meals, and they have such a youthful attitude. Yes, it does. And I know studies have been done that volunteering is great for your health. It's a great way to start the new year. You live longer when you're a volunteer, so we need you more today than we've ever needed you as a volunteer. So we hope that that folks out there, if you've got the one free lunch hour a week or once a month, our business partners are huge. They is where the company gives back. They donate an extra half hour for lunch and let their volunteers become part of the workplace as well. That's very important. One of our Subaru Share the Love event is going on, and it's a wonderful partnership with a local business. This is their 4th year. Becoming volunteers at Meals on Wheels.
Well, and I think that's the thing, when we're fortunate to benefit from nationally being Meals on Wheels across the country, and when a national partner can step up and then it trickles all the way down to the local level for opportunity for us to partner, and the theme being Share the Love. I mean, that's certainly something we do year round, and this idea that by sharing a meal, you're sharing love, by sharing friendship, and certainly by the folks at Subaru, sort of stepping up and being a part of who we are and what we do, and locally getting involved with us, I think is just a great example of how it all just sort of ties together.
Now, how many volunteers do you have in Cherokee
Well,
County?
we have about 400 volunteers, and we need that many more.
You do?
I know it sounds like a lot of folks, but many of those, like I said, are with businesses where they may come once a week or twice a month. And then we have a lot of retired school teachers, retired folks in our community. And with our community in Cherokee County still in a double-digit unemployment, we have had some folks in job transitions that have actually become volunteers and come and help in our office. We keep our routes at a very minimal mileage so that it can be very affordable for folks to use their own cars and go out and deliver meals. We make it very timely so that they can be done within an hour. And we have lots of needs. We have folks we need to help in the office, to help put together birthday arrangements. We have flowers donated. We need folks to pack the meals, serve the meals, to help us with special projects, data entry. So there's just a wide variety of volunteer opportunities to really suit anyone who's interested in volunteering.
I think the amazing thing for all of us too, talking about kind of a bigger number, so about 5,600 volunteers across the upstate last year helped our programs, but it's the daily impact. I mean, for Greenville alone, it takes about 140 volunteers every day to deliver our mission. And so if you kind of translate across all of our programs, so there's a huge daily need. But just like Terry said, I think the great thing is if delivering is not something that you're comfortable with, you know, you could work the meal packaging line, you can answer phones. I mean, the opportunities really are endless. We need folks to help with our events. I mean, it just, we can really, if you've got an interest in serving homebound seniors, we'll find a place for you, either on the front lines or behind the scenes. They're all very important to what we do.
I think I'm seeing how this Upstate Alliance works in this interview. But the counties involved with Greenville and Cherokee County, obviously. Then there's Pickens and Spartanburg.
And Anderson County.
And Anderson County.
And then the city of Greer.
And the city of Greer. And probably the clients won't notice any different unless they see better service. Is that right?
Well, I think, and I hope the communities, what they see is greater awareness of the issue. You know, there are a lot of great things about the upstate, but there are also a lot of things that we're challenged with, and senior hunger, I think, is something that sometimes goes unnoticed or not talked about. And so I think one of the things behind this idea of being We Are Meals on Wheels is trying to vocalize the fact that we don't want these seniors to be forgotten. Many of them, you know, have great life stories to tell and things and lessons for us to learn, and so we want to make sure that, as Terry said earlier, that they stay in their homes as long as they can with the dignity and the respect that they deserve. And Meals on Wheels is just a small part of making sure that that happens to them, and that we are really able to end the disease of senior hunger by 2020.
Now, before we started, you said you were involved in the national organization or on the national board?
Yeah, so the great thing about being a part of a national organization, I think, is that you get resources, training opportunities, and I have a chance by sitting on the board to also lend some leadership and direction, and so it's a great way for me to be a local voice, not just for my program, but for the Upstate Alliance on the national board, to say, here are some of the things that we're seeing on the ground and issues that we need to address, and that way the national organization can react and respond and really help support what we have going on. But it's also a chance for me then to bring back to our local programs things that are going on at the national level, things that we can be a part of, grant opportunities, you know, national programs like the Subaru Share the Love event. So it's a really good partnership.
All right, well, we'll give you one more chance to say something about volunteering, since this is the month where people are making their resolutions.
Yes, we hope that you will make a resolution this year to become a volunteer. There are many opportunities in every county in the upstate. I know I mentioned that we need you more than we've ever needed you. As we continue to meet the growing needs in our communities, we cannot do it without you. So now is the time to become a volunteer. We'll make it just as easy as we possibly can, put you in all the right places, and I know Liz has a lot of opportunities as well.
Absolutely, and like Terry said, I mean, it will impact your life more than you could ever possibly imagine, and I promise if you deliver one meal, you will be changed forever. So we hope that you'll, you know, find out about your program wherever you are and get involved. It's very easy in any of the Meals on Wheels programs in the upstate. We'll have a place for you, and hope that you can take some time to share the love with the folks who are homebound in your community.
All right, well, thank you both for being here today.
Thank you.
Meals on Wheels always needs volunteers to help with the day-to-day operations. You can go online to www.mealsonwheelsgreenville.org to help the Greenville County organization, and Cherokee County MOW.org to help the folks over in Cherokee County. That's all the time we have this morning for Focus on the Palmetto State. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.